Welcome to the second episode of Professionals People Avoid, but definitely need to talk to, where we shine light on the folks you'd rather dodge until you really, really need them, only to find out what you've been missing all along. And today, I've got Glen here, an estate planning attorney with Lifescape, right here in Kansas City. Glen, let's be honest, you and I are two of the most avoided professionals out there.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
I'm a realtor and you're a lawyer. People will dodge our calls like we're selling extended car warranties. But the second that need a will or a house, suddenly we're their new best friends. So tell me, do people need to be loaded or near death to come and see you? Or can regular folks get in on the action too?
Well, Michelle, I can tell you that people love me.
Do they?
People love to come talk with me. I'm one of their best friends. And really, it's anybody that has transitions in their life. It's, when you start off and you're young and you maybe just got out of high school or college and you find someone you want to spend your life with. Then you have children, and those transactions and transitions are times when you need to come see someone like myself. So it has little to nothing to do with assets and more to do with transitions in life. And as we get older, we go through more transitions such as divorce, or change of jobs, or decline of health, or moving to another state. Some are more challenging than others.
You can do it!
Yes, I can imagine. So you're saying you don't just cater to the ultra wealthy trust fund babies?
Absolutely not.
That's good to know. But let's be real. What's the biggest mistake people make when it comes to estate planning, besides, not doing it at all?
Well, in my world, the biggest thing they fail to do is get the big picture. Most people look at estate planning as it's myopic related to certain written documents. We look at estate planning from the holistic big picture. And the 5 things we look at are healthcare advocacy, housing, finances, support of family, and then in your tool chest of life, you have these legal documents. So I think a lot of folks are isolated and they fail to see the big picture.
Yeah, well, that totally makes sense. Okay, I have a good question. If I suddenly came into a massive amount of wealth, from a long lost relative, what's the first thing you'd tell me not to do?
First thing not to do is spend it all quickly. Because the statistics tell me that everyone, literally almost 100% of everyone that gets an inheritance or wins the lottery, spends it all within 5 years. So find out, what do you got? What do you want to use it for? Get a purpose, get a plan, and then work the plan.
Yes, that's good advice because, I gotta be honest, my first instinct would probably to go spend it all.
Amen.
Yeah.
Your car.
Yes.
Yacht.
Yes. Or yacht. Yes. Okay. So real talk, because I know money can complicate relationships. How often do families fight over estates? Are we talking mild disagreement or full-blown family fights in the courtroom, and what can be done to avoid it?
Well, arguments or disagreements are pretty common to estate planning. And I think the number one proactive step you can take is if you're the parents, for example, you need to make the decisions. Frequently, parents will say, well, they'll figure it out, or they'll appoint a child to make decisions. And that's really unfair. The parents need to be the parents and make the decisions. And then number 2, they need to be transparent. They need to tell the kids what the decisions are, tell them that's the way it is. And if they have a problem, they need to bring it to the parents rather than punt the ball down the field and wait till they die. And then it hits the fan and everyone's disappointed.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds like some people need estate planning and family therapy. All right, last question. What's one thing people don't realize that they need with their estate plan, but absolutely should have?
When I was a young attorney 42 years ago, the issue was what happens to my stuff when I die. That's not the issue, or at least not the only issue. In fact, I would say it's the secondary issue. Today, the issue is what happens to me, my stuff, and my loved ones if I get sick and don't die. And that's really at any age. Anyone can be in a car accident or have a medical incident. But I think most people fail to plan for that second part. What happens if I get sick and don't die? So I think that's just as important as the other. And you need to approach estate planning with getting a plan for both.
Yeah, well, thank you. I love that. Well, I think we made estate planning sound a little less terrifying and maybe even a tiny bit fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for chatting with me, Glenn.
My pleasure.
And if you're watching this and haven't done your estate planning yet, consider this your friendly nudge before your family turns your inheritance into an episode of Judge Judy. Our contact information is on the screen, so if you're ready to take the leap into full-fledged adulting, give us a shout. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because I'll be back with more conversations with professionals you'd rather avoid but definitely need to talk to. Thanks. We'll see you next time.